You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
We interrupt this program with a special bulletin. America is now under martial law. I gotta get a little political on this episode, but I'm not gonna talk politics. I'm just gonna let my message spew right there.
Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV, where we're brought to you by Bing, because Bing is for doing, and we're here doing another live Monday Night Raw After Show. Yeah, that's right, from the O2 Arena in London, England, mates. Cheers, mates. What is this guy doing?
Anyone caught outside the gate?
This guy walking in like drunk Jerry Maguire or something.
Will
Josh.
Woo!
Another 3-hour roll.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Help me. Your neighborhood
Smiley. Let's man. I'm Ryan GQ Money Katz, and as usual, I'm joined by my tag team of broadcast brilliance. Making her way to the desk today, we got Cathy Fatal Attraction Kelley. And to her side, Josh, JP Female Demo Padgett, and Ryan Klum is MIA, missing in action as he has been going through Ring of Honor training this past weekend, where he's trying to make a mark in the independent wrestling scene. So we wish him good luck and good wishes towards that. I heard from him. He said it actually went really well, and we'll talk about it next week.
He's actually on the chat roll right now, so chiming in a little bit here
As
and
the music starts to fade down, I do got to get into a little bit, because we're coming off of last week and the tax and all this. Terrible times in America, which makes people say that people are terrible and people are evil. And I gotta say, man, in situations like this, there's so much actual good going on. I actually watched some of the footage this week, through all this was going on, watched the explosions. I think the craziest and coolest thing about everything is when the explosions happen, man, majority of the people don't run away. They turn and run towards it and immediately go to help. And with all the negativity of what's going on, I got to say, thumbs up for humanity. And thank gosh that there's people out there that'll take action and do the heroic thing. Mm-hmm. Which makes me say, I wrote a tweet on, I sent out a tweet earlier in the week. I sent it to The Rock. Of course, he didn't respond. My hero tweet. I thought it would coincide with his TV show, too. I have a little philosophy. It goes like this. You could be weak in body and mind. Oh, I already screwed it up. I didn't write it down. All right.
I'm going to go to your Twitter.
It says, you could be weak in body but strong in mind. Slow in speed but fast to react. Bad at things but always good. Be a hero.
It sounds like it's more than 140 characters.
It was not more than 140.
Wow,
it fit in with my hashtag Be a Hero and at The Rock. So last thing to say with this, and then I'm going to move away and we'll get into this world of wrestling, and I'll tie this in of why I'm even telling it to all of you guys. Always open your eyes and ask questions. Always open your eyes. You can't just listen to what you say. Just like us. We give you our opinions. We give you our analysis. We send you some supposed facts about what's going on in WWE, what's going on Raw, what's going on in wrestling. You got to question things. You can't just say that, I heard it, it must be true. Open your eyes and ask questions.
Especially during tragedies.
And the final thing, as I tie this in, that I wanted to say is we have this awesome international audience. Mm-hmm. And we have this platform we get to speak to a lot of people. And I am just curious if our international audience would be willing to tweet me through the week. I'd love to hear what the international news is saying about the coverage. Because, I see what we got on the news here. I'm not necessarily fond of what's being said. I think there's a lot of duping and brainwashing going on. But at the same time, I want to know what the international people are seeing and what's coming out of this. And with that said, let's move on to Monday Night Raw. Let's get excited. We're in London, England, where we thought we were going to get a raucous and rowdy crowd. And there were moments, but overall energy was kind of low.
Yeah, I was a little taken aback a couple weeks ago because, that crowd right after Raw was humongous. And I saw online a lot of the European fans were taking a lot of credit for that. And I'm like, well, come on now. Like, we're in ECW territory, and it's right after, Mania. But I saw a lot of European flags out there. And so I got really excited after we went down to South Carolina in Flair country, and they just blew
Padgett
it.
country.
They were
They
dead.
just blew it. It was terrible. And I was like, Europeans, it's going to be better. And they delivered tonight,
better.
but it won't.
They were better, but they didn't live up to what we expected.
I think we're only going to get that the day after WrestleMania now. That's our one day a year to get the crazy, interesting, unpredictable crowds. And it's funny because it actually makes you look forward to that more so than WrestleMania.
For real. Yeah.
They were fandangoing a lot tonight.
They did like
he
that.
was so over.
And finally, WWE did a good job of, after last week's botch of the Fandango situation,
yeah.
I think they wrote him terrific tonight, and the situation played well. But the broadcast itself started with Paul Heyman in the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman.
Like, we don't know who you are.
And I'm here as the advocate of Brock Lesnar. And Triple H is not here. In fact, he sent me a text message today. Says, I've never run from a fight in my life, but due to my injuries, I'll give you my response next week. So Heyman's upset. He thought he was going to have a chance to stand face-to-face, eye-to-eye to the man that last week he said he respects for the way he took it to Brock Lesnar. But Triple H, as usual, lets down the WWE Universe. A constant history of letting down the WWE Universe. And he's a gutless coward who didn't have the manhood to face. And then...
Motorhead. Time to play the game.
He said Motorhead. They should add that to the intro right there. Motorhead.
That's Motorhead. Yes.
Motorhead. Time to play the game.
If you missed our WrestleMania podcast, there's an amazing remix of the song.
Oh, right. By DJ Mark Love, world famous DJ Mark Love, representing the Far Side back in the day. Man. Triple H makes his way to the ring. Takes a long time coming to the ring. I think almost as long as an Undertaker entrance.
It might be longer because we were able to fix the captioning on a slow DVR during that whole time.
And Paul Heyman looks at Triple H and he says, Triple H, I applaud you. You got me. I played the game tonight and I lost. And Triple H just looks at him and is like, because, see, I lied. I'm here. Go home and tell Brock that I accept. And then boom, kick, lock it in, and there's a microphone right under the head area of Paul Heyman, and we're all sitting there going, as he's locked with his arms behind, and his head's looking right at this microphone, he's going, I hope I don't land on the mic. I hope I don't land on the mic. And up and to the side of the mic.
Just right to the side, yeah.
Because Triple H is a... Oh, I'm dripping sweat.
You are gushing.
Can we get some air conditioning in the studio right now?
Loosen that tie up, man. I didn't do the tie,
I was gonna try to tie in this new Edgar knot or something.
You're just
I read
so
about.
heated tonight.
I am. I am fired up. I am heated. I am hot, and I am excited about what's up. What's up? R-Truth starting us off with the first match of the night, and he's taking on the international superpower, Antonio Cesaro. I love it. Here we go.
And the crowd was into this, man. The Europeans love R-Truth. What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Take a people over here. That's kind of how he raps,
Yeah.
What's up?
What's up? Taking on Antonio Cesaro, who's in the yodeling. Today's yodeling, not as strong as last week's
Not
yodeling.
as good, but I really like it. I feel like it adds something to his personality. A lot of people don't, though.
I don't like it.
Padgett hates it. Voice of choice, Christian Rosenberg, was in the room watching with us. He hates it.
Well, we talked about it. He can still be comedic, and he can be a great wrestler.
Absolutely. I love it. I find it entertaining. I find it odd, quirky, makes me want to watch, makes me want to see what he's going to do.
Makes him memorable.
Absolutely.
Which he was really like, I forgot about him the past month.
His skills are memorable, but his personality is not. So now you can balance it. And as you brought up, maybe this is a setup of this losing streak. He's a joke, so that when they are ready to push him into a major title picture, they can then say now he's refocused.
He's getting serious now and stuff. But
Where are the Cesaro signs? Didn't see any of those.
Especially in an international crowd. I'm pretty shocked about that. There were a couple, I think, hidden in there, but you're right, not too many. Tons of Fandango signs tonight.
Tons of Cena.
instead of having
Cena signs. Smitty was there, Connor was there, Colin was there with arrows. You know, everyone was just telling us that they're there.
The clown was there.
The clown was there.
But they don't have him cutting any promos anymore. And like, especially when you're over in Europe, he should have cut a promo to that English crowd, like in French or something.
Where
that would
was
have been awesome.
Barrett?
He wasn't even on the card.
Right?
Is that?
Why would you not have Barrett?
But we did get Regal.
We did, but you're right. Why did we
Where's
not
the
get
Intercontinental
Barrett?
Champion at?
That's right. He is
I
a
was
champion.
waiting for him the entire night. Not just that he's the champion, but that's where he's from.
Yeah,
But you got to remember, last time he was over there, he got cheered out the building. Like, they were cheering him while
Who
he was
cares?
facing.
I agree.
And
Who cares if it's a different crowd response than they expect?
Like, they do that all the time.
As they say, when you go to Canada and when you go to London, you enter Bizarro World. And I think as fans, we enjoy that. We enjoy when the crowd reaction is the opposite of what it normally is. It makes things interesting. It makes things exciting. It makes things different. It makes it fresh.
And normally that changes the whole culture, right? Like, I mean, Ziggler won 2 weeks ago, and the place went ballistic in New Jersey, and then Vince is like, "No, kill him!"
Match was pretty good. Short, nice pace. Great double stomp by Cesaro, and I gotta commend the Truth for like the awesome sell on it. That facial expression was like, oh, it was so good, and he's sitting in and made the camera. And then the finish was like a botched version of Pay Dirt. But now our Truth in the last couple of weeks has wins over Barrett and Cesaro. Pretty shocking that the international superpowers are on a little downward spiral.
Why are they pushing our Truth?
Not sure if they're pushing our Truth or burying Cesaro.
It seems like they're pushing our Truth. That's a couple big wins. Wins over title holders.
You can bury Cesaro with a bunch of other guys. Why our Truth?
Yeah, why is it? When he came back from an injury or something?
Yeah. Oh man, that was the one where he where it was like an abrasion where he lost a crazy piece of skin or something. I think.
What?
I forgot what it was. I forgot what that injury was, but like he lost tons of skin. So like I mean he had like raw muscle. It was.
What, did he fall off a motorcycle?
No, it was in the ring. It was one of those
big rug burn.
I don't remember. It was essentially a mat burn, rug burn, or it may have been a table. I don't remember. I'm sure one of our listeners in the chat room may be able to say. But
Plum actually just texted us that there was a SmackDown house show going on at the same exact time, and that's why there wasn't.
Which becomes a problem that you have the split brands because come on, you got a massive show, and especially like the.
And I mean, if you have a split brand, then why are your so-called SmackDown guys on Raw?
Correct.
Like,
why is Daniel Bryan? Why is Dolph, who's essentially your SmackDown champion at that point?
But they did without that a long time ago with the Super Shows, right? That was when they started
they're in the midst of putting it together and blending and eliminating the brand extension, as they like to say, but it still hasn't happened. It seems like WWE has been watching AfterBuzz TV because all of a sudden we get a camera shot and we see a helicopter in the sky, a chopper in effect.
It's an Augusta A109.
We get some science there. Look at this. Avionics, I believe, right? Yeah.
Sure.
An Augusta what?
An Augusta A109.
Augusta A109. You were hoping it was going to be some sort of Black Hawk, a little SWAT style.
Maybe in the future.
But we see the Shield, and they're coming into London by helicopter. That's got to be a long trip on a helicopter from the States.
Does this mean they have like a rich guy like backing these dudes? Like
that helicopter's not from the States. That was from
or did these three guys like pull their TLC money together and like helicopter, you know?
WrestleMania bonus maybe.
Right,
why not go at Horseman style and live it up? They have limos. We'll take helicopters.
Maybe they brought they bought a British Groupon for a helicopter ride.
I like it. I like that. A British Groupon. That's right. 50% off helicopter rides. Bip, bip, bip.
You know, the terrible
He's
Cockney.
doing the. He's doing the.
Hello, there you
rotation.
go. I believe there's been a murder. Whoa.
You sound like you're from London.
Well, there, yeah. Well, bip, bip. I do a terrible Cockney
People
accent.
hate us right now.
I love it.
People hate
I used to
us.
piss off my English friends in New York with that.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Tons of funk. Comes to the ring. Brodus Clay.
No.
I can't do it. Brodus Clay taking on Damien Sandow. And this is where we saw our first fun moment from the crowd.
Yeah.
When we saw that big 6'8" or however tall he was, dude, dressed as Sandow, complete with full beard,
Awesome.
robe.
He's got to be 8 feet tall, man.
He was
He's
huge.
humongous.
He was standing out in that crowd so obviously, and he kept acknowledging Sandow when he was coming to the ring. And I think Sandow noticed him. Awesome feeling, I think, for Sandow to go look at the crowd, because then we saw later in the broadcast, further up in the stands, there was
Another one.
another guy.
Sandow. I love them. Both of them.
He's so good, yeah.
The first one was better.
The first one was much better, but they're still the second. Sandow ends up picking up the win with the schoolboy by holding the tights. Nothing really special to
Did
talk
all-
about in this
old
match.
school
There were no
Macho Man
Bellas.
move.
That's something to talk about.
Bellas weren't there with the Road Scholars last week either. I think I brought that up. I thought that was weird. They were pushing this whole thing with the Tons of Funk and the
Maybe they're
Funkadactyls.
filming their reality show.
Oh, announced today, the Divas getting a show on E! Entertainment Television. We're going to watch and follow the backstage personal lives of the Bellas. Natty Neidhart. That's 3. New girl JoJo, new girl Eva Marie, and I'm forgetting who the 6th girl I think was on the list.
Not Rosa or?
Rosa got supposedly, it was on WWE.com. Rosa Mendez got sent home from the international tour for questionable behavior.
Oh, I thought it was personal matters that she had to take care of. That's what she tweeted about.
That's how she spun
but
it.
Apparently,
WWE.com, I think the official statement was due to behavioral, with problems with her behavioral problems, something
a little
like
too
that.
much Newcastle beverage going on there.
I'm a fan of the Newcastle. It's one of my favorite beers.
Good beer.
It's good.
They know what
I
they're doing.
don't smoke cigars anymore. I used to Newcastle on a cigar was always good to me back in the day. You liked and haven't noticed the Damien Sandow T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm glad he wore it because I feel like the robe is.
A little much for you.
Yeah.
It's thick.
I like his T-shirt. I think it represents his
Yeah,
persona.
The robe
the
sets him apart though from
evolution.
everyone. Everyone has like the little Daisy Duke trunks with the T-shirt thing. I hate that look.
I do
More
hate the
guys
trunks
need to
and a
wear,
T-shirt.
Like, they need to wear like the
leggings,
tights again, the
yeah.
leggings. Like I think Jericho. Like,
Meggings are on the on the fashion runways this year.
I guess it's easier to travel with them, right? It takes up a lot less space.
That robe's got to
Easier
take up a ton of space.
But that robe,
Come on. Trunks versus
Honestly,
tights. They're not
you
talking
can
about
throw
much of a
them in a
difference.
merce.
You're gonna Meggings in your merce. I like it. Well, the Duke of Decency and the Count of Class picks up the win. And we go to the backstage area where we got Dolph. Oh, wait. Hold on, Steve. Hold on. Wait.
I was gonna say during that match is when they started singing the Fandango theme.
Fandango did get picked up. I think there was a moment where the crowd was getting, you know what? I'm skipping over, I think. Because didn't Brodus Clay? No. That was the 10 side
later.
match.
Second match, yeah.
Yeah.
But they did Cody's mustache. They did an Albert chant, not paying attention to what was going on in the
There was
ring.
an Olay chant earlier.
Olay, and then they did the Fandangoing.
That's what we wanted. That was so much fun. I don't know.
It is fun when the crowd
wanted the
does it.
chants.
South Carolina ain't much for dancing.
All right, now we can hit that music, Steven. Dolph Ziggler in the backstage area, and he's talking to someone, and he says, "You're so beautiful.
Something.
I think I love you." And then the camera pulls out, and he's looking at his World Heavyweight Championship. AJ's next to him and says, "Zigglypuff, are you trying to make me jealous?" And Dolph's like, "No, babe, I'm not trying to make you jealous, because you should have one of these too, because it would look a lot better on your waist than your former hippo BFF." And AJ's like, "She's not like a hippo. She's more like a water buffalo."
Oh, snap.
This is the Piggy James stuff. And everyone was pretty offended by that back in the day, and I can't believe they would go back to that.
Piggy James, they would make fun of Mickey?
So there was a phase in storylines where they were calling Mickey James fat, and they started. It was when Lay Cool.
Let's encourage girls to have eating
Yeah.
disorders.
So,
this is awful.
This one I'm not into.
Layla's about
I always say there's no rules in wrestling. You're allowed to do bad things because it's supposed to make someone bad.
Yeah.
But there's nothing good coming out of calling a girl fat on TV.
And
it's bad for
Caitlyn
your
is
fan base.
smoking.
She's got thick legs, but they ain't fat.
But
They're
she's
just solid
muscular.
muscle.
She's fit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's more fit than those girls.
She's fit. She's not fat.
She's also fit in the British term of fit. Isn't that like smoking?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, and fit. It's a smoke.
She's
smoke
so
show,
fit.
You know? Yeah. But water buffalo. I don't know about that. You know.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of what they were going with that, but it's okay. They can do some stuff like that. It'll pass. But it's just to set up the fact that we're finally going to get AJ versus Caitlyn in a title match that everyone's been wanting since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
As this was going on, Dolph and AJ want to start making out. So then Dolph looks over at E and Big E, and he's like,
Always lurking.
E, this is Dolph and AJ time. Quit creeping. And Dolph's not even creeping because he's got that straightforward, eyes focused not on them, just looking forward.
You mean Biggie's not? Yeah.
Biggie's entertaining me the last few
Reminds
weeks.
me of my middle school years.
Ever since My Little Pony, I'm on the Biggie bandwagon.
If you haven't watched that video, Google it or Bing it. Bing it.
That's all going on, and then all of a sudden, Bricky comes in. We get an so they send Biggie off on his way because he's creeping, and then all of a sudden we get an excuse me.
Team Bricky.
Bricky comes in saying, "Sorry, Dolph, but I got bad news for you." And then Vicky's like, "Well, it's not actually bad news." And then Brad Maddox, who was wearing a sport coat today, just like Josh. Odd. The day that you don't wear the vest and the button down is the day that Brad Maddox goes with the sport coat instead of the vest and the button down.
They sent out a memo.
We're besties.
Texting each
Same
other.
color and
what are you guys gonna wear? What's your outfit tonight?
I want to match you.
Vicky informs him, if you lose to Jericho in your match tonight, Extreme Rules is going to become a fatal four-way for the championship. So that angers him. And then there's a little exchange and some high fives with Bricky and Brad. And there was a great, that was what it was. What was the comment? Vicky made something like, it won't be too long. And then, Dolph, you're used to that. AJ, you're used to hearing that.
This won't last long.
Yeah.
And then she
punches him on the shoulder and punches Dolph on the shoulder. Ziggler's like, why are you touching me? And that was a funny exchange.
Yeah. There was one line that AJ said that we couldn't quite make out. We listened to it at least 5 times, I want to say.
Going back and forth.
She was saying it
Brad Maddox
to
was trying to give her a high five. He's like, hey, up top, and she
says
something.
Yeah, we couldn't figure it out.
This is my favorite promo of the night.
Text it in. This is your favorite promo? You just like Zigglypuff.
No, I like the whole thing. I thought it was very humorous.
Yeah, it was humorous. It was fun to watch. Go into the Shield in the backstage area. Delta. For 20 years, Undertaker has been judge, jury, and executioner of the WWE, and he has always sentenced his victims to rest in peace. But for the first time in 3 years, Undertaker comes to Raw, and he's going to learn that the Shield is the law. For the first time in his ghoulish existence, the Undertaker will learn what justice feels like. Believe in the Shield. You love
great promo by these guys. They never can lose, man. They just know what they're doing.
Absolutely the best thing going in WWE right now.
He called Undertaker the last outlaw. So was that I
think it was more of a reference to the American Badass time,
right?
and it just kind of wasn't. Yeah,
I love that. That's good.
Awesome stuff. Setting up the fact that we got a 6-man matchup tonight. The Brothers of Destruction with Daniel Bryan taking on the Shield. It's gonna be interesting. And with that, our first hour kind of came to an end, and we move into hour 2 of Monday Night Raw. But before doing that, I gotta remind all of you listeners that if you love what we're doing here, if you love listening to us, please head on over to iTunes, where you could look up AfterBuzz TV and subscribe to each and every one of our podcasts. So you could subscribe to this one here, Monday Night Raw, or if you happen to like The Following, why don't you subscribe to The Following? Or if you like Fashion Star, like I do, why don't you subscribe to Fashion Star? There's a ton of things you can do. Go rate, go comment, share, and tell a friend.
And we also have some very good news that we found out last week. We are finally able to stream AfterBuzz TV live from your iPods, iPhones, and iPads.
Yeah.
So you can go, you can watch the video, you can listen to it on the go, and it's a really cool feature. So if you're still up, then
my mom's happy about that because she used to have to watch the replay. Couldn't watch on her iPad.
And actually Androids as well. So if you have an Android, check that out too.
We got 2 Androids and 1 iPhone at the table.
We know who's got the money.
We're diverse.
My iPhone.
I don't think it's a money issue, Josh.
No.
I like
all
having
the same,
control over
they're all
my
the
content.
same price.
That's what I like. But yeah,
Dolph Ziggler versus Chris Jericho, Y2J. We've seen this matchup a lot. We've gotten this matchup a lot, and it usually delivers beyond expectations.
yeah.
Tonight, didn't click.
And what do you think the reasons are? You think it's from traveling over there? I mean, you said
No.
that they've been there for 5 days.
Can't
at least,
blame
right?
jet lag. If they got in yesterday or too early, I'd say, sure, maybe they're tired, exhausted. They've been there for days. I mean, they could be exhausted. I mean, they have busy schedules. They're on the road. They're doing media events. They're touring. They're meeting fans. Blah, 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 blah. Tough lifestyle.
I figure
But I don't know
these two, as good as they both are, and how many times they've wrestled, like in the past year, against each other, you think they could do this with their eyes closed?
Yeah, I would think so. But, you know, sometimes the chemistry's not there. Sometimes you just have a bad night.
I think that the chemistry is always there. It was just a much longer match than.
They've had some long matches in the past.
I mean, yes, they've had some long matches, but I don't know. I guess you're right. Something was just off.
Yeah, I mean, and it's no, and in no way was a terrible match or anything like that. It just there were some quote botched spots, miscues, mistimings.
So I feel like the Monday Raw after WrestleMania, the fans were cheering because they were excited about the matches. Tonight, during the Jericho and Ziggler match, they were cheering because they were bored.
And in fact,
Yeah.
they started off the Monster Wave again. The Wave is awesome
Love
on a
the
wrestling
Wave.
show.
Especially when they get the far shot
Yeah.
from the hard cam.
And I
Is
liked,
that what it's called?
yeah, the hard cam. And I liked when you noticed towards the end of it, when it was dying down, when the hard cam side people were going up, they were turning towards the cam. It was kind of funny.
Those are true wrestling fans.
You know,
And Jericho started playing around with the
yeah,
fans,
Jericho
too.
was playing with it. It's
They were
funny.
fandangoing for a little
They
bit.
were fandangoing for a
Couple
little
times.
bit. No one's swaggering yet. It didn't really catch on.
In time. Well, granted, we were in London. Real Americans
The
swagger.
WWE Creative is also 4 weeks behind us, so
That's true. We're going to come back to America, and we're back to We the People and some swaggering.
Gotta hit on our Arizona or Mississippi or something.
Big E punches Y2J as he goes for the Lion Salt in this match. Lion Salt was the downfall of Chris Jericho in this match. He tried it 2 or 3 times and had some
can't get
problems
it.
both times. Second time goes for the Lion Salt. Ziggler able to get his knees up, gets up and hits kind of a half of a famouser. Didn't really connect all the way. A little miscue right there. But then Codebreaker by Jericho. 1, 2. I thought this one was over. 2 count only. Ziggs gets his foot on the rope. That was well done because they had me right there. Y2J then goes to get ready for another. I think he was looking for the Lion Salt again. And Big E was on the apron, so he hit his little springboard drop kick, sending Big E to the outside. Goes to lock in the walls of Jericho, and then the music hits. There it goes, official. Da-da, da-da-da-da. You can't help but feel good doing this. I think everyone should wake up in the morning
this
before they
is
go
so
to work.
much better than swaggering,
It
you
is better than
guys.
swaggering.
It's so much better.
I like the
Can't
political
not
implications
smile.
of swaggering.
Oh my gosh.
We the people.
We the people.
Weed the people.
Oh, Cathy Kelley.
I did it.
So the Fandango music's going on, but there's no Fandango.
And to Dolph's credit, he gets out of the walls of Jericho. Doesn't really distract Jericho.
He goes under his legs and pulls his way to the room.
Or maybe he goes from it being on the neck to a regular Boston crab.
And then
he's
was
just
able to crawl out.
And that's where he gets to crawl out.
Gets up, hits the zigzag, grabs that head, crunches it back, pins Jericho. Dolph Ziggler gets a win. I thought we were going to see Ziggler losing 2 matches in a row
I
since the
did
title.
too. But, it took half the roster to get him to win a freaking match since he's won the world title. Good God, man. So even the audio guy's going heel and helping out, Ziggler now, too. It's like,
Even the
geez.
audio guy.
He's cashing in all these favors.
Well, when you're the champion, your bank account grows and you can put new people
Money
on
in
the
the
payroll,
bank. He's
baby.
still Mr. Money in the Bank. He's like, here you go. I'm passing this shit around.
Backstage area, I almost said Josh Padgett. Josh Matthews with the hardcore legend Mick Foley. And this is an angle that was threaded through the broadcast tonight that I didn't understand the significance. What does Foley have to do with this Ryback-Cena feud?
Well, you know, the past year he's been doing this with superstars. What is this? No thanks. I'm like, where did you? That's like
that's Josh. Look at Josh.
The control. Oh no. Okay. Very nice. Look at me, I'm such a little baby.
I don't know if I get it. Fandango, no thanks. I like to control.
Well, I was talking about the control of an Android device, whereas Mac, iPhone, Apple, they try to keep you from controlling your own content on your iPhone.
You can still jailbreak, can't you?
Yeah, but then you got to be a hacker, and I'm not. I'm not
skilled enough.
Speaking of which, since we threw that picture of Josh up, I think if Steven, if we could throw on that other picture I sent you, Scottish Shield representing, they have been insisting, they have been ruthless and relentless in their tweets to me, telling me that Josh Padgett deserves a push.
Yeah,
I think you need to get some like Hanes underwear with push me on them.
That'd be pretty good.
Exactly.
Pretty good.
Do the Zack Ryder push.
There it is.
There it is.
We're sick and tired of Josh not being heard. We are putting a stop to this injustice at Blue Daz. Yes, D-Log, the Scottish Shield representing hashtag give Josh a push.
Wait, what's the bottom? What's at the bottom? We're missing it.
He can't get it.
Guys. Can I talk?
So, me and you were talking when we were clanging and banging this morning, since Josh is my workout buddy now on a consistent basis. They had a funny tweet to Clum last week. What was it they said?
Oh my God.
Opinions and facts.
Oh, yeah, they're like, hey, Clum, your opinions are opinions, not facts.
Phenomenal.
They're hilarious.
I love it. I love it. My Scottish Shield, my brothers.
You are protected.
Freedom!
They may take my mic, but they will never take my freedom! Foley's talking about Ryback. I still have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But he says that Ryback has the potential to be the greatest.
I think the reason why they're putting Foley on so many Raws is because they're trying to integrate all of the brands, not just Raw and SmackDown. When they have Booker on Raw, it's just like they're
now
trying
Foley
to cross
being the,
everything because he's on
he's general manager
Morning
of Saturday Morning Slam.
So.
And the point I was making before I was interrupted by my new Josh meme was that Foley has been doing this over the past year. When Punk went rogue and went heel, Foley was like, hey, he's like the moral compass back there nowadays, I guess, which is weird because he's the hardcore legend. It's like, dude, you're like a psychopath.
Talks about man not blaming himself for his own shortcomings, and Ryback's just making excuses for why he did what he did.
Don't get too deep with this, man. It's Ryback. He's a beast. He's hungry, and the WWE Champion is the biggest feast he can have.
Feed me s'mores, right,
Let's
Cathy?
make
Feed
this
me
basic.
s'more cupcakes.
We're not dealing with Punk here, you know. It's Ryback. That man he can't cut a promo without taking his eyes off.
We need
cue
some
cards.
Ryback memes.
Well, if we needed something exciting for the main event of Raw tonight, we're going to get a confrontation in the middle of the ring between Mick Foley and Ryback. How's that make you feel closing out Raw?
Confused?
Palpitations. I don't know what's going to happen.
Did you just have an arrhythmia and skip a beat right there?
Oh, my God.
The past few weeks, I've been trying to figure out what Mick Foley's hair looks like. And I mentioned it to you tonight. I was like, Mick Foley's hair looks really weird. I think it actually looks like Queen. We've been talking about Fandango and what is it, Scaramouche.
Yeah, we'll get to
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he looks like Freddie Mercury.
Oh, if he had the Cody's mustache,
I sent-
for sure. I think
sent you
Cody
the
looks more
picture.
like Freddie Mercury out there with that stash.
When they show Fandango from a distance, it looks like he's got a mustache, not a goatee. That like lip always looks really dark on the wide
Yeah.
shots, like
Yeah,
he's
that
got like a
chipmunk lip,
mustache.
yeah.
Oh, Foley, Ryback later tonight. But now, Sweet Tea versus Cody Rhodes. I effing love Sweet Tea right now.
Albert's getting it, man.
I usually prefer my iced tea unsweetened, but I am digging Sweet Tea. He's entertaining to me, man. The dancing, he's having fun, and you can see that he's having fun. I mean, I don't think he's faking it. I think he's legitimately enjoying himself. He's not worried that he's not getting pushed. He's comfortable in the spot that he's in, and I think that this little dance gimmick with Brodus may have been the spark he needed to rebuild a career.
Saved his
Make
ass
some
for
money,
sure,
baby.
Yeah, definitely.
This big old dude hit a modified monkey flip in this match. A monkey flip from a 400-pounder.
No, wait a minute. Doesn't that take more from Cody to do that? With the monkey flip, he's just rolling back on his back and launching him, right?
What does Cody have to do? He has to just have a foot in his waist and fall over. Yeah.
You know, you're the
It looks a
wrestler.
lot more difficult.
No, but I mean, it's the guy doing it, because the guy doing it has to support the other guy's weight, has to send his momentum over into a certain direction, has to be able to give him the push off.
But what kind of agility and dexterity does it require from?
It requires from the guy doing it.
Yeah.
That's time. I mean, he modified. Normally, a little guy would jump into it onto the waist and then run, fall back. Where he kind of did the one leg and then, used his strength and leverage to get him through. I was impressed by it.
I love it. I love that you're telling me that, because that's very impressive. He's just on fire. And it's like, it reminds me kind of of Kane, because like those two, they come from the Attitude Era, but no one's cheering you guys. You still got it to these dudes,
right?
Because. And he's been in Japan. What? Like, hasn't he been in Japan
since he left WWE?
So he's just thrilled to be back in the
I think
big
so.
show, for
I
sure.
think so. Sandow goes up onto the apron, gets hit by Brodus Clay. Cody goes for a disaster kick, but gets caught in the Baldo bomb, and then he starts doing the dig.
The Triple H burying.
Hits the running senton. Sweet Tea picking up the 3 count. We go 1-1 on Tons of Funk versus Rhodes Scholars.
I wasn't sure.
You know what that means? That's going to set up a tag team
Rubber match. What will happen? Oh my God.
Bringing up the fact, I'll bring up the Sandow T-shirt again. The phrase at the bottom of the T-shirt is the birth of intellectualism. And then we got the Cody Rhodes love stash. Backstage area. Daniel Bryan, Kane. Is he here? Is he here? You get like a very childish, exuberant Daniel Bryan who's going up to his big best buddy Kane. And is he here? Is he here?
Cute.
It was adorable. I think Daniel was adorable.
Can I hug him? No.
Yeah. And essentially Daniel's frantic. He's like, how are we going to beat the Shield, especially if the Undertaker's not here? And Kane looks at him and he's like, don't worry about the Brothers of Destruction. And Daniel Bryan's
whoa.
That's right.
It's Hell No.
Yeah, it's Team Hell No and the Undertaker. It's not Daniel Bryan. It's not the Brothers of Destruction and Daniel Bryan. And Daniel's like, I've got strategy for this match.
I've got diagrams.
Diagrams!
Undertaker doesn't take orders, Daniel. What's with you, Kane? Is it because we haven't hugged in a while? Don't hug the Undertaker, Daniel. Don't show him the diagrams.
Don't embarrass me in front of my brother.
Don't embarrass me. Daniel Bryan's like, I promise. And then, boom, attacked in the back.
By men wearing black boots.
Oh.
You can't see him, though. You can only speculate.
And just like in the real world where there's black backpacks that are questionable, do we know that these black shoes belong to the Shield?
Always
That's
ask
an
questions,
awful-
people.
It's not. That's the whole thing. Ask questions. It's not an awful
He's
statement.
bringing it together.
There were tons of backpacks involved in that scene, but we'll get onto that in another time. Attacked by the Shield, and we move on. Josh Matthews with another backstage interview with Ryback, who has no regrets about what he did, but he does enjoy reading from cue cards. As we talk about this, let me do this. Which way don't I have a camera? So what's going to happen in this point is that Ryback's going to cut a promo about how he has no regrets about anything he did and how he thinks that...
Teleprompter over here for you.
I mean, I don't get what was going on with that. Why would...
Is this the same director who's always... Would the director be the one who would tell him, like...
Who do you blame?
I don't know, man.
The cameraman, the director?
I'm going to blame the cue card guy for not standing in line with the camera.
Was it a cue card guy, or do we think he was just told to look in that direction?
It could be direction, and it makes you sit and wonder why. But there was no logical explanation.
I don't think there was one fan who was watching who didn't think it was a cue card.
Absolutely.
That he was looking at.
The guy's looking completely at the side of the camera, and his eyes don't even shift focus. It's not like he shifted to Josh and changed, and just oddly he thought he was looking at a different camera than the one that was recording. I mean, this was just weird.
I mean, at least last week he was in front front of a fixed camera, and it was like right there.
And that was a produced package, so I had no problem that there was teleprompter.
Even Rock does that, you know.
Doesn't bother me in the slightest. This one just was visually awkward and uncomfortable.
Unappealing.
Absolutely unappealing. New entrance for Biggie Langston with a song that we found appealing. Nice little mellow rap song. And as Clum has been talking about what we always see Biggie doing on NXT for his
Gets to
entrance.
do his chalk.
Yes, I'm so glad. Yeah, he got new music too. I love this theme, but the one that he debuted tonight was pretty solid. A little bit more heelish, right?
Yeah.
But I love the chalk.
It's funny you say a
about to go
little
to
more
work.
heelish, because if we go back to that segment earlier, the backstage segment, they kind of tonight finally planted the seeds for the Dolph versus Biggie Langston feud. When Dolph kind of kicked Biggie out when he wanted to make out with AJ, Biggie kind of gave him a look like,
He doesn't want to be the third wheel.
And then
Yeah,
at the
he's
same
getting
time, there's a lot of changes going on, because during this match, we get a lot of commentary comments about how Biggie Langston.
Commentary comments?
Comments from the commentary.
Thanks, Cathy. Thanks for
welcome.
calling out my redundancy right there. We get some comments from our commentators.
Yes. Sure.
Saying that Biggie Langston is definitely a future world champ. So that to me says Dolph versus Biggie's coming.
Well,
They said that everyone was a future champ tonight.
yeah, we have a lot of future champs out there. I mean,
And if you're
we've
going to
got
put the
plenty
title
of
on
titles.
everyone.
Have plenty of titles to go around
Who
for
else
sure.
did they say is a future champ?
Didn't they say Rollins or one of the guys
All
in the
the-
Shield?
No, we were saying
Oh, yeah,
that.
that was yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I agree
Sometimes
with
I confuse this with.
Sometimes you confuse us with the experts. It's all
Do you
right.
think it would really be a heel turn or a face turn for Biggie if he turned away
I think
from
Biggie's going to go face and Dolph's going to stay heel.
So I feel like everyone's been talking about how Dolph is going to go face
I don't
for
think it's
so
gonna happen.
long.
After 2 weeks ago in Jersey, I don't see how he can't go face.
I don't think they're going to do it, man.
Really?
I just don't think they're going to do it.
One or
You can
the
do it.
other is going to go face.
I don't believe
We just
there's
don't
enough.
know who.
This isn't exactly $1 Million Man and Virgil here. Like, we don't have that much built-up heat there where we're just begging Big E to like turn on him.
It's going to be a shame when we see Big E in the subway selling pictures 10 years from now.
No.
That was a Virgil joke.
But you know, it's just like if he turns on Ziggler, the way Ziggler's been going since he's won the title, it'll just be sad. Like, dude, you're abandoning this guy. He needs you. He can't win a match without you, dude. Now you're leaving him to dry. Like, he didn't do much.
Then
You're
maybe
just
he'll go on a losing streak and lose the title
I mean, a jealous guy.
if he
a
needs some
jealous-
help.
Yeah.
AJ, when she eventually gets the Divas title, which I think is going to happen, she might abandon Dolph too.
Last week, AJ was a little clingy with the
And
world
then
title. Right? She
once
was like,
everyone
"Oh."
abandons Dolph,
She was
Dolph
tonight in
goes
that match
face.
too, hugging onto it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
You don't know.
It could go either way. I would hope that it's like AJ has Big E and she's just been using Ziggler to get the title to Big E, and then Ziggler's like left out in the dust, by himself. And because those two fighting, how in the world are you going to be like booing Ziggler? That's such an underdog, versus this giant behemoth. And this little guy, the way he fights, that's how a face, like
I'm
an
going to
underdog
experience
face
that
fights.
oddness on May 18th because I'm in that same situation. It's confusing for
You
me.
are.
I'm this little 5'5" bad guy heel going up against the 6'4", 350-pound face that's brawling Bo Cooper. Like,
He's huge.
but
He's huge, dude.
there's an oddness of the change in
Not very tough,
juxtaposition
though.
of. No, he's not. He's weak. He's mushy. He's soft and mushy.
You got hit by a girl.
Undertaker, Kane, and Daniel Bryan taking on the Shield. Daniel Bryan and Dean Ambrose to start this one off, and we say it every single week, and we'll say it again this week. The facial expressions, the body language by Dean Ambrose. The guy's an impressive performer. I mean, he's just different.
He's so good.
And he was trending during that match. Undertaker's in the match, and Dean Ambrose was
First time
trending.
in years he's on Raw wrestling. Yeah.
Awesome moment in the match. Rollins is in the ring, and there's a lot of action going on, and Undertaker's dying to get in, and he's on the outside, and Undertaker gets pissed off and fired up, and he's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And then he's running down the apron and grabbing the ropes, and he's looking at Rollins, and then there's a little exchange.
Rollins says, "Your time's up, dead man. We rule the show right now." And he's like,
That was an awesome moment. And seeing Undertaker all fired up like that for a Raw match, I mean, it's
That's
just kind of
cool.
cool when you see how excited he was, because that's not an act. Because you can act excited, but usually when you act excited, it makes you excited.
Yeah.
I mean, Undertaker was just, there was so much energy in him when he was doing that.
I feel like he has to be excited to come back more than once a year.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not that he's excited to come back, but he has to be in it to actually make that effort or want to make that effort.
Yeah. Do you think there's like a different energy for a wrestler? Like Undertaker probably hasn't wrestled a tag match since probably like 2010, right? 2009.
I couldn't tell you dates. I'm not good.
Because like, well, if Klum was here, he probably. But you know, like since then, he's just been doing WrestleMania matches against Shawn Michaels and Triple H for 4 years straight, and now this one with Punk. So it's like, man, it's been a long time since he's probably been in a tag match. You think that's probably added excitement for a wrestler who's just been doing
and being on the apron in a tag match. The thing is you always have to do something, so you have to keep you're essentially keeping yourself entertained.
It adds excitement, but I feel like, and this sounds really awful, is he is a little bit older, so if he needs to do shorter matches,
gives him the time to
gives him the
recover
time
and
to
breathe.
recover. Yeah,
Absolutely.
And there must be some excitement to be in the ring with 3 hot shots, the hottest dudes. Oh my God, hottest dudes.
What?
The hottest, team wrestlers.
Wait, that went over my head as I'm looking at
Josh is blushing
That
right
just
now.
came right back to me. I took a
looked
second
at
on
the
that
time
too.
and I was like,
Hottest dudes, Josh?
What I meant was they're
There's
awesome.
nothing wrong with
No
that,
one's
Josh.
better
There's
than
nothing wrong with that.
If tag matches with Taker means that we're going to get to see him more on Raws and other things other
Josh,
than
if you want to
WrestleMania.
clean out your closet here on Monday Night Raw's after show, you're more than welcome.
I'm gonna stay right in there with the door locked. Just kidding.
That was a terrible change of phrase. Josh is in the closet.
But imagine this: if you said
Dig in that hole.
if you said to me like, oh, Dean Ambrose is going to be on Raw in a tag match against the Brothers of Destruction next year, I mean, you would have said you're insane. Within 6 months, these guys are
against
fighting Brothers of
main
Destruction.
event guys,
Awesome.
superstars, legends. Taker for the double choke slam. Roman Reigns goes for the spear, and Reigns is shocked that the spear wasn't enough to put down the Undertaker because it's worked every time he's used it. Kane hits some of his moves. Cole says vintage Kane, and then JBL's like, vintage Cole commentary. Great line by JBL right there. Kane choke slams Ambrose. Reigns crotches Daniel Bryan, who's up on the top rope. Taker goes around after Roman Reigns on the outside. Daniel Bryan goes for the big headbutt. Ambrose rolls out of the way, pins Daniel Bryan. The Shield is still undefeated.
Yes,
and
this
the
is
best
perfect.
thing going in WWE today.
Yeah, now and it would have been cool to get a tombstone or two, or a choke slam at least. But we got old school from Undertaker. I'm much more happy that Shield came out on top of this one for sure.
This was one of my favorite matches of the night.
It was
This was good. This
Probably
was
the
good.
best.
It was my favorite, hands down.
Absolutely.
Rollins was a machine tonight.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm always putting over Ambrose. I always like Reigns. We know that although I'm a big fan of Rollins, he's always on the bottom of my list of the Shield. Number one
Did
tonight.
you watch NXT this past week? He was in a lumberjack match that was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really good.
He topped my list tonight. He was freaking awesome. Personality, charisma, facial expressions, wrestling talent.
He sold everything. To
Oh
them.
my
Like,
God! When he got whipped into the guardrail on the outside, and his head snaps back, and the hair does the little
my
whip,
gosh.
looked like legitimate
Like a
whiplash. Looked like it could have ended him, broken. Oh,
all three of them, just constant improvement, though.
every week.
for sure.
Getting
These guys
better.
are awesome. Foley in the back with Cena. I don't even know what this promo was about. I wrote down the difference between being smart and brave, and I didn't write anything else out, and I don't know what that means.
You know.
It wasn't that good.
The Foley, this Foley thread, this Foley story arc this week didn't do it for me, and I'm normally, I mean, Foley's one of my guys. He's one of my faves.
But this whole thing, it was weak leading up to Survivor Series with Punk. It's weak tonight.
Let's cue up a little cha-cha la 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 or whatever the song's called. Because it's time for Go! With a new dancer tonight, Summer Rae from NXT, developmental wrestler. You didn't like her as a dancer?
No, okay.
You prefer
I
the
want to make
brunette.
this clear because I've been talking about it in chat all night. I really, really like Summer Rae. I love her in NXT. I think she's an amazing potential to be a diva.
She's not as her dancer.
I really, really, really liked Fandango's dancer
The brunette.
that he had, the brunette that he had all throughout the East Coast. I wish they would keep her because because she had like that heelish quality about her. I really liked her, and I wish that they would eventually bring Summer Rae up in a different
capacity.
Exactly.
But she danced with him at the press junket for Hall of Fame,
And that's
right?
the thing. We saw this coming because she was there during
tweeted stuff out
WrestleMania.
when that
She
was
was
going
tweeting
on.
pictures. It just, I don't know.
We'll see if it
I
develops.
wanted it to be a surprise if it was going to happen.
Summer Rae can do a lot more than the dancer chick. I mean, we don't know what her background is, but I'm pretty sure she's probably just a dancer.
Right, meaning so she can now get Summer Rae as
She's
that
not
character
as
can
good
now
a
get
dancer,
involved.
but now she can wrestle.
Right, so now she can interfere and
you
be
can
physical
tell-
on Fandango's Fandango's behalf.
And I love their chemistry. Like you can tell Johnny Curtis.
You look upset.
No, I was about to jump ahead. A lot.
All right, I got you. I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
Yeah.
This is where we saw the double sign in the crowd. Scaramouche. Scaramouche.
Will you do the
Fandango?
There were some major Fandango.
Galileo.
Figaro.
But then we get one of the greatest theme songs for one of the greatest wrestlers of all time that doesn't get to be on WWE television too much. His opponent for the evening is the UK's own Lord William Regal.
Awesome.
Everyone loves Regal. The UK crowd, the London crowd went nuts. They're bowing
to
They're
him.
going crazy. If you want to watch more of William Regal, there it is. You can check out NXT where he does color commentary, and he's been feuding with Cassius Ohno, who they're talking about potentially bringing up to the main roster pretty soon.
He's been training Cassius for years, right? Like he's his only trainer, I think. Right? Isn't that
Maybe a storyline, but not for real.
I thought like he was one of his big guys. Like Regal's been teaching him like for a long time. Maybe that's his storyline. I'm not a smart.
I think mentoring would be better. Not training. It's not like he's been his trainer.
He's been his mentor.
Mentor, absolutely.
You know, he's mentored Daniel Bryan.
Absolutely,
and Ambrose
absolutely.
And okay.
Mentoring.
Where do they have the space on the roster for all these people from NXT? Because they keep on bringing in new people from NXT, and then they keep on bringing back old people. Who's leaving?
You're gonna see some releases.
Who's leaving?
Releases are coming.
Who?
Good question.
Time to do
Great Khali.
Six to Nix again.
Six to Nix.
Hashtag 6 to Nix.
Hashtag 6 to Nix. I also saw in chat roll earlier they wanted to send in Josh memes. So I think on Twitter this week
Send
we
them
want
in.
6 to Nix. Hashtag that, and then also send us in your best Josh memes, and we are going to put the best one up on air next
Awesome.
week.
Love it. Love it.
Bring it on. I don't give a damn.
Fandango with an easy win on this one over William Regal. I was pretty shocked because I thought based on the way it was going to go that Jericho was going to interfere with this match, cost Fandango the match. You can't say I always say Fandango. But it's Don. It's not Dang. It's Dango. But it sounds so weird to go Fandango
I know.
versus
When
Fandango.
you want to say it fast.
Fandango.
Fandango.
With the win, as he goes up to the top to celebrate, he gets jumped. Fandango getting jumped by Y2J, thrown off the stage. I thought that was going to be a bigger bump than it was, rather than just a diving jump off the stage and fall down.
Little parkour.
It's all right. It was fun. And then a little exchange between Chris Jericho and Summer Rae.
Yeah.
His dancer over.
We all thought that she was gonna punch him, and she didn't. It was very weird.
She
like
wanted
a weird
to make out with
ending.
them. It looked like they got really close, and it looked like Jerry. Actually, they were pretty close mouth to
They
mouth
were
right
very
there.
close.
I think pretty much close.
Doesn't
wow.
he have a white-
You see that right there?
And Fandango's facial expression when he sees him dipping her, he's like, no.
Stewie is in the chat roll. Stewie Palmer.
I love it. Stewie's a wild
He's like,
one.
it's 5 a.m. here.
Big shout out. Big shout out to Sam Cooper Bennett. We got tons of followers, listeners, watchers on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and all over. 5-person Divas Battle Royal to determine the #1 contender for Caitlin's Divas title. Tamina had a big bruise on her arm that was interesting. There's a situation between AJ and Tamina in this match. AJ jumps into Tamina's arms and kind of embraces, smiles, and we're kind of let to look like, oh, are we going to get a little HLAs? Are we getting back to this attitude stuff? But no, Tamina puts AJ down and super kicks her, almost knocking her face off.
And AJ plays
awesome.
possum the entire match.
I mean, she did get kicked pretty hard, but yes, she did. Naomi goes with the rear view. Tamina pulls Naomi out of the ring, which was real. She just like pulls her
like,
out.
"Here, get out."
Get out. You're eliminated. Layla eliminates Tamina. AJ's playing possum through all this. Finally kicks out
They're
Layla.
just like, let's wrap this up. Y'all girls got to get out of here.
I'm glad we got a Divas
Absolutely.
match. This was much needed.
But
don't like the battle royals for these number one contenders.
We've had them so many times for the divas. Like they recycle this every few months, it seems like.
But we do finally get the setup for AJ versus Caitlyn, best friend versus former best friend.
Predictable, but I still loved it.
You think AJ's going? Obviously, we all think AJ's going to get the belt or the championship.
Do you think it's going to happen this time around?
I'd personally like to see Caitlyn successfully defend.
I think that she should defend it successfully once, and then maybe the next time around AJ gets it.
Did you know that WWE's most child-friendly character is playing a horror villain in the new movie No One Lives?
And he looks just like Bo Cooper.
And did you know that this movie is from the director of Midnight Meat Train?
Oh, I love that. It's so good.
Everyone runs, everyone hides, but no one lives with Brodus Clay. Yeah. Mick Foley calls out Ryback to the ring. We hear the Feed Me More on the music. And essentially Ryback says to Foley, how does Cena giving you a chair help you out? And Foley's like, well, honestly, I was kind of offended. I'm Mick Foley. I'm the hardcore legend. I'm a Hall of Famer. And then he's like, Ryback, I want you to see some clips. They show the clips. They recap the whole thing of Ryback walking out on John Cena. And Ryback's like, Foley, Mick, I know what I did and I liked it. Hell, I loved it. And then Foley's just like, man, what happened to you, Ryback? What happened? And he's like, Mick, you're trying to relive the old glory days, aren't you? You're trying to come out here just so you could sell some more DVDs? This is a results-oriented business, and I get what I want. I want to be a WWE champion, and at Extreme Rules, I will be. If you, Super Cena, or the WWE Universe has a problem with that, I don't care. You're going to lecture me how to be a man? You're holding a weapon, you fat, pathetic, lazy bastard. Look into my eyes. And then there's a big exchange.
Oh, man,
this is when you can call someone fat. Don't call a girl fat.
Look in my eyes. And all of a sudden, Foley focuses attention to the chair that was chucked to the floor. And then the Cena run-in happens. Ryback grabs the chair, chucks it, and then the Cena run-in happens. Cena comes in, and he's there, and he's like, Ryback, I got 2 weapons for you. Make your move.
Why not? Yeah, come on.
And then, when we think that there's going to be something going on there, we go back to Sierra, Hotel, Indio, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield. And they were taking a long time to get down on this one. This was awkward. Like, it just seemed like it was taking way too long. Cena ends up getting out of the ring, standing on the apron, a la Ryback's position from last week. Finally, after about what seemed to be 6 minutes,
you already had enough airtime. Why do you need that long entrance?
Shield comes into the ring and starts the attack on Ryback, but immediately Cena saves him with the chair. The Shield retreats. The final face-off between Cena and Ryback. This is where the look of the chair was. So that's where the chair was on the ground. Ryback
chair was everywhere.
Attention to the chair or something. And then right when that happens, hoisted up on the shoulders of Super Cena, attitude adjuster. John Cena reigns strong tonight.
Much to the crowd's glee.
And that is how we go off the air for Monday Night Raw from the O2 Arena, London, England.
Well, you know, I'll have to say that my cousins across the Atlantic were doing very well tonight. Thank you for a lovely experience tonight. Great broadcast.
It was a good Raw.
Very well.
Yes.
It was a pretty good Raw. I think at the hour...
Not a 10. It was a 9.
Ooh, I'm not going to 9. I'm going to give it a 8.
Oh.
7.5 to 8. There was a moment in that hour and a half part where I was a little bit bored, but then it did pick up a little bit. There was just inconsistencies on storylines. I don't even think we have time for crazy plugs tonight. We're being rushed out of here.
Yeah, we do.
Tell that Twitter.
Twitter, at Cathy Kelley. I also have a new blog post up, chocolate bacon cupcakes on CathyCooksandStuff.blogspot.com. Remember to send us in your 6 to Nicks on Twitter and your Josh memes.
CM Punk was offered No One Lives and turned the movie down. Josh, tell them where they can find you.
Showtime, Josh. And a shout out to my Highlander Scottish Shield brothers.
Clum thinks that the monkey flip is all about the other guy. He doesn't agree with me. He thinks it's hard on the guy who's taking the move. Yeah, he's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Complainer.
Opinions, not facts, Clum. You can find me at I Am Smiley on Twitter. IamSmiley.com. Make me a ProWrestler.com/tips. Pick up my little ebook. With that, I'm going to call this a quick one. Bye-bye, Birdie. Open your eyes.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Oh, yeah.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.